you're going into marriage with this dream, and that dream may never become a reality. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about something that I find really troubling, but I hear about happening a lot. And that is when a Christian woman will marry a Christian man thinking, oh, I can convert him after we get married, right? Wrong, most of the time. So I am going to share 4 reasons why I think marrying somebody hoping to convert them is a bad and probably futile task. The first reason is that people tend to remain on the same trajectory over the course of their life. Sometimes 180s can happen, but by and large, a person who is on a certain trajectory will kind of continue on a similar trajectory for most of their life. Let me just give an example. This is an extreme example. So imagine for me that you've got a guy who has anger issues and gets aggressive when he's angry with the people around him. And then that person gets married. Is that person magically going to stop being angry and aggressive when they get married? Or is that person likely to be violent, be in domestic violence situations even after they get married? I think the answer is yes. And this sounds like a very extreme example, and it's not meant to say like, oh, non-believers are abusive or something. But I think most people can recognize, oh, a person who's angry and violent before they get married will probably be angry and violent after they get married. But with religion, for some reason, people don't think that same A then B kind of way. So I see a lot of girls who are like, he's a nice person, he loves me, and I'll be able to change him and convince him of Christianity after we get married. And so they jump into marriage with that thinking. But a person who is not interested in Christianity before marriage is not magically going to become interested in Christianity after you get married. A second thing that is important to factor into this, and this is a statistic taken from Pew Research. It's kind of sad and heartbreaking to me to even say this, but it's what the statistics have found, is that women in general tend to be more religious than men. That means that you as the wife, you're almost starting below zero. If you've got somebody who is either serious about a different faith or not serious about any faith, you have to get them to care about religion in general, potentially, get them to care about Christianity, to believe Christianity, to become passionate about Christianity in order for them to be what I assume you're hoping for, which is they are a godly, passionate person about their faith, leading your family in this strong, godly way. Since men in general tend to be less religious than women, you've got this like crazy uphill battle. It would almost be easier to convert a woman, which is in fact probably why you see more women converting to the faith of their husband than the other way around. The next thing I want you to think about is, okay, say he does convert. He says, okay, I believe it. Yeah, Jesus is the Son of God. I want to convert to Christianity. After months, years of you inviting him to church, inviting him to Bible study, talking about the Bible and scripture with him, he says, okay, yeah, I believe it. I want to become a Christian. How can you truly trust whether or not it's a sincere conversion and that he's not just doing it to make you happy because he loves you? And I mean, that's a beautiful thing that he loves you and he wants to make you happy, but that should not be the way Christianity works. And I think a good litmus test is to think about, okay, imagine you divorced. I know it's kind of sad to think about, but imagine you divorced or you died. Would he still be a Christian? Like, would he still want to love and serve God? Or are you kind of the driving force pushing him towards God, pushing him into a relationship? And is he going to be motivated to hold on to that relationship with God if you are not there pushing and prompting him towards it? Because ultimately, no one should be a Christian because somebody else has pushed them into it. And I think you also need to think through the very probable reality that your husband may never convert to Christianity? Are you open to the prospect that you will always be two different religions? I would hope that you'll always have a respectful relationship about differing religions within your home, but beyond that, if you go into marriage hoping that you're going to convert him and that you will be this unified couple who can love and serve God together and build this home and family around that, are you going to be okay if that doesn't happen? You're going into marriage with this dream, and that dream may never become a reality. Is that going to be something that destroys you and destroys your happiness in the marriage? It's really important to think about not just right now and not just being hopeful of, oh, I'll probably be able to get him to convert to Christianity. Think about the worst case scenario. If that does not happen, how are you going to feel? How is that going to affect your marriage? And how is that going to affect your relationship with God? If your husband never converts, then you are going it alone within the marriage. It is so beautiful to be able to love and serve God together. And if you don't get to do that, and if your husband doesn't understand that your greatest love is God, but his isn't, that is a major disconnect. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to feel about that? I don't want to condemn people who have already married a non-Christian, but if you have not married someone who is a non-believer, if you're still dating or single at this point, I just really want you to think through the things that I've talked about before you do make that decision, because it will have ramifications for the rest of your life. If you have already married somebody who is a non-believer, I made a video about how you can still be a godly wife and how you can pour into your marriage in a godly way as a Christian wife with a non-Christian husband. I specifically made that video thinking of people who convert to Christianity after they've married, but the same principles largely apply. So I would encourage you, watch that video, find encouragement there, and I know that God can use anything. God is always at work. He can take all of our poor decisions and mistakes and turn them into just masterpieces, not because we deserve it or because of anything that we have done, but because He is a good God who loves His children and wants to bless them and wants to see them succeed. I hope that this video has not just been Debbie Downer, but has also been useful, informative, and encouraging in the end. If you found it useful, please consider subscribing and turning on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And please let me know in the comments what your situation is, what questions you have about this. If you have been through something like this, let me know just what God taught you through it and maybe any insights or experiences that you have that would be a blessing to other people watching and reading through the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.